Hello everybody, this is M. Rahman. You are watching MR Classes. Please assist us by subscribing our channel MR Classes and providing your valuable comments. Let's come to today's topic of discussion. The topic is key features of US Constitution. The US Constitution came into effect on 4th March 1789, replacing the Articles of Confederation of 1781, which served as first constitution of USA after 13 states declared their independence and sovereignty through Declaration of Independence on 1776. So what are the purposes of US Constitution? So there are 6 purposes in drafting the US Constitution. These purposes are to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, to secure the blessing of liberty. What are the sources of US Constitution? There are a few. These sources are Declaration of Independence, Article of Confederation, the Federalistic Papers of 1787-88, 2 letters of 1780s written by George Washington, President of Constitutional Convention and the first President of the United States, an English Constitution, and others who influenced the founding fathers of US Constitution in drafting the Constitution. These are Magna Carta of 1215, Petition of Rights of 1628, English Bill of Rights of 1689, John Locke's idea of natural rights of life, liberty and property, which deeply influenced Thomas Jefferson, who drafted the Declaration of Independence, Rousseau's idea of popular sovereignty, Montesquieu's theory of separation of power. So now we are going through key features of US Constitution. So first feature is it is a written Constitution. So it is a codified form, written in a single document, not like UK Constitution, which consists of various documents. It has a preamble and only 7 articles. These articles are Article 1, Legislative Branch, Article 2, Executive Branch, Article 3, Judiciary Branch, Article 4, States, Article 5, Amendment Procedures, Article 6, Supremacy, Article 7, Ratification. So US Constitution is the shortest constitution in the world by number of words, as it has only 4,553 words and it is just in 4 sheets. So other shortest constitution is Latvia, Poland, Czech Republic and Libya. And US Constitution also shortest constitution by number of articles, yet it has only 7 articles. Other shortest constitution by number of articles, the Bosnia 12 articles, Marshall Islands 14 articles, Palau 15 articles, Micronesia 16 articles. Second characteristic of US Constitution is a rigid constitution, means it is difficult to amend the constitution. The procedures to be followed to amend the constitution is 2 stages. First, proposal for amendment, and proposal may come from either of one way of 2 ways. First is it by Congress with 2/3 majority vote in both the houses of Congress, House of Representatives and the Senate, or by Constitutional Convention called for by 2/3 of the state legislatures, that is 34 out of 50 states. But interestingly, none of 27 amendments of the Constitution have been proposed by Constitutional Convention. And second stage is ratification. The proposal must be passed by 2/3 of the states, as it is now 38 out of 50 states. But interestingly, only 26 amendments proposals ratified by state legislature and only 1 amendment proposal ratified by state conventions. Third characteristic of the US Constitution is Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution are called Bill of Rights, which provides for the rights of a person's property, liberty, freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, etc. James Madison, fourth US President, is hailed as the father of US Constitution for his pivotal role in drafting and promoting the US Constitution and Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights ratified on 15 December 1791 as it became part of US Constitution. So, fourth characteristic of US Constitution is popular sovereignty. The US, the people rule, means they have delegated their powers to the government, and a government owes its authority to the will of the people. The principle of popular sovereignty is stated in the preamble of the Constitution. It says, we the people of United States establish this Constitution for United States of America. Three words, we the people, have that charisma that people of United States are only source of authority. Fifth characteristic of US Constitution is separation of power. Doctrine of separation of power divides power between three pillars of state government to prevent interference of one institution in the affairs of another. So, Congress has power to make laws, President can enforce, execute and administer law, Judiciary can interpret the laws. Next characteristic is checks and balances. The system checks and balances laid down by the separation of power, which prevents misuse of powers. So, Congress has a check on President in amending, blocking, rejecting the bill, overwriting veto, power of purse, declaring war, approving treaties, confirming appointments, investigation and impeachment. And Congress has a check on courts in impeaching judges, proposing constitutional amendments, blocking nominations. And President has a check on Congress by recommending legislation and using presidential veto. And President has check on Judiciary in nominating judges and invoking power of pardon. Courts have checks on President by declaring presidential actions unconstitutional, and on Congress by declaring laws unconstitutional. Seventh characteristic of US Constitution is federalism. Article 4 of the Constitution provides for a federal system of government, which means that powers are divided among federal government and the states. Residuary powers are vested in the states. States are autonomous bodies and federal government cannot meddle in their affairs. In case of conflict, Supreme Court decides or settles the disputes. So, next characteristic is presidential system. Article 2 of the Constitution provides for presidential form of government, where the President of United States is head of the state and head of the government, elected indirectly by people for 2-year term. He is not part of Congress, nor he is responsible to it. Its ninth characteristic of US Constitution is bicameral legislature. Article 1 provides for 2 houses of Congress, which is called Parliament in many countries. Lower house, that is House of Representatives, and upper house, that is Senate. So, House of Representatives consists of 435 members directly elected by the people through adult franchise for 2 years. The seats of the House distributed among the states based on their population, as California has 43 seats, highest by any state, and Montana, Alaska and other 5 states have only 1 representative each in the House. And Senate consists of 100 members elected directly by the people through adult franchise for 6 years. Each house has equal representation of members in the Senate regardless of their population. US Senate is the most powerful upper house in the world. So, next feature of US Constitution is independence of judiciary and judicial review. Article 3 provides for the establishments of judiciary and lays down the provisions for assuring the independence of judiciary and empowers it to review the laws passed by the legislatures, actions by executive, and declare them null and void if found contradictory to the provisions of the Constitution. Next feature is dual citizenship and dual constitution. The Constitution provides for dual citizenship. That means a citizen of United States and the state where he is domiciled. Britain and India provide for single citizenship, for an example, and dual constitution, a constitution of United States and a separate constitution for each state. Next feature is US Constitution is a symbol of many compromises. The Constitutional Convention made few compromises to eliminate the differences among them, which led them to make a comprehensive and successful constitution. Among these compromises, first compromise, creation of two houses of Congress, population-based representation of states in House of Representatives, and equal representation of each state in Senate to accommodate the demand of larger states for Congress, where states representation based on population and small states for equal representation. Second compromise is clear-cut distribution of powers between federal government and states to compromise between federalistic demand for powerful federal government and anti-federalistics for strong state governments. Third, creation of Electoral College for presidential election is a compromise between demands of direct election and indirect election for president. Next characteristics is US Constitution is the longest serving and functioning constitution in the world. The US Constitution has been functioning since 1789, means 230 years. When average age of all constitution in the world is 40 years, and 42 constitution came into effect in 21st century only. Here is the list of 5 written oldest functioning constitution in the world. First is USA, second Norway, third Belgium, fourth Argentina, and Canada. So US Constitution gave direction to most of the world's constitution in many ways. For an example, 157 constitution of the world followed US Constitution for drafting their preamble, and 41 preambles exactly start with "We the people of," which is copied from US Constitution, and other 48 constitution mention people in preamble, saying that people are their source of authority. This is the end of the lecture. Thank you very much for your patience.